It is about equipping police to work. Making police, the current police system we have, make it work. Because politics is the lazy way to make money. If you want quick money, you don't want to commit your brain, you don't want to commit your effort, you join politics. Even if you have no ambition, have no contribution whatsoever to the society. You just join so that you just get money, buy car, buy good dress, build house, send your family abroad, and then come to the society to let everybody know that your family is in abroad. And then you drive car, and then you go after your neighbors and your friends, 18 years girls. For the men, and then the women too, what they do in their own way. All these are excuses. If a security system is working, even the political actors will be afraid, because they know that if you are caught, if the people you sponsored are by any means caught, you will go for it. So this excuse, like the kind of excuse we gave during Jonathan's time, it was the Northerners that was sponsoring, they want him out of. It is rubbish. If the army was built to do their job, if the police was designed to do their job and equipped to do their job, and monitored to do that, evaluated to do their job, nobody will be, whether on pretense of religion or pretense of or whatever, nobody will dare. You will need to look for a different means. You will rather use media, which is the biggest weapon, the greatest weapon to ever use. You prefer to use media than to go and involve yourself into any kind of violence or any kind of security breach, because if you are caught, in fact, it will be a matter of who caught you, because if it is the army that was the security breach you did was so much that brought in the army, if the army comes in, you are finished, you are gone. It is your burial we should be doing. It is when the police comes that they will simply surrender, we will arrest you. This is how people create levels. This is what people do. This is what any serious country with a serious leader, this is what they do. You build your system, you build your processes to work. They come to Nigeria no, we will not make it work. Instead of that, we will build on top of it. We will build on top of our mistake. So you have a situation where the same federal system of policing that has been working for everybody. The question is, what is the problem with our police system? It's simple. It is simple. They are understaffed. So what do you do? Nigeria has a teeming youth of population, unemployed youth. A very high number of unemployed youth. And you have a police that is understaffed. What do? You create an opportunity in the police. You have a high level of graduates who are not employed. You create an opportunity in the police. Let them join the police. For them to join the police needs to be attractive. How do you make it attractive? You pay good money. A constable should be able to earn at least 250,000 or to 300,000 as a basic, considering the level of inflation in the country. You pay them. When you pay them, you remove it from their sangolo. You pay them, then they must do the job. It is somebody you pay very well that you can now mount with CCTV and everywhere to make sure that the person is doing the job correctly. Because at that point, sacking the person will be painful to that person because the person is earning well. You pay them good salary. You give them good medical. People will be rushing to go and join the police. As a police officer, wherever you are located, wherever you are launched, wherever you are assigned a duty, and whatever hospital, government hospital that exists in that environment, when you are sick, you walk in and you get treated. When you are sick, you walk in and you get treated. And if there was no government hospital, effective one walk into a private hospital, get treated. The private hospital will combine the number of the police persons they treated, send it to the government hospital. They will process it as their bill and put it in their budget. Make sure they have a good medical welfare for them and their families. They have a good housing plan for them. A typical policeman who joins police should be able to know that at the end of the day, once I am done, as part of my retirement, if I successfully delivered my job as a police officer, I will be entitled to a 3-bedroom flat, at least. I mean a low cadre officer. I will be entitled to either the value of it, the money itself, or a full built house that I would not have to select where that house would be. Maybe in my village, maybe in the city. Wherever I would choose to, but there is a 3-bedroom flat when I successfully delivered my job. When you do things like this, the police unnaturally becomes attractive and it becomes competitive. Then you remove it from their sangolo. Just like the private sector where people are working, they are working like what's it called, elephant, and eating like ant. You make sure that they deliver professionally. They must look professional. They must appear professional. For you to receive your next salary, you must appear professional. You must act professionally. Your actions attract. Just like the US that they have to put a camera in the badge of each of the police officers. These are performance evaluation. So that when you are speaking grammar that you misfire, that the camera is connected, they will see what happened. And then they will use that to adjudge whether you did right or you acted within the professional bounds that you have. These are senses. It's simple thinking. It is not religion. It is not what's it called? Ethnicity. It is just thinking. You put it into the process. You have Nigerians in professional environment, the NLNG, the Shell, exposed even in the banking system. They build some of these systems. They build these HRO systems. They build these evaluations. They build this training system in these professional organizations that are making waves around the world. Why not take from there and build the public sector so that it will be professional as well? Why? Tell me why police will not start working when such kind of compensation is provided and evaluation is provided. There should be every police, in every main street where a police exists, in every police station that you have a DPO. There are supposed to be policemen deployed on each of the streets as the first line of contact. Something breaks up in that street, they are the first to hear it. They are first to be called. So when somebody's house is being burglared and the person shouts, there's a police. Where is the emergency phone number to call a police? Like a number where if MTN is not working, Glo is not working, if you dial that emergency number, it's going to work. This is what makes society work. Those that installed or put these things in place, they are not full. Where is the contact center? Where is the contact center? Where is the emergency center that police is supposed to operate with? Because it is not the DPO, the regular DPO office that we have in the police that will be receiving calls. How will they manage that? How? What setup is there to make them receive such calls? No, you should have an emergency center where calls for distress can be received. From the moment that call is received, the system monitors how the reaction and the treatment of that happens. When that happens, everybody knows that they are being monitored. And if they are being monitored, then they will act. Nigerians, they will behave well. If you put a camera and tell Nigerians to work in an environment, Nigerians will work very well. They will be remove camera and tell them to still work. They will still do that your job, but Albert, you will not like how the job will be done. You will not like how it will be done. So in situations, so we can solve it. We can make our so it is not state, it is not a central thing. It is not a state control or a central control. No. It is about equipping police to work. Making police, the current police system we have, make it work. Because the current police system we have has not worked. And rather than to make it work, as usual, we are trying to topple the challenge by shifting responsibility to the state. The same states that some of them could not pay salary. And now you are saying a state that can. What do you mean by state that can? Which state cannot? And which state will decide that will agree that they can? Okay, if a governor of a state says today that he can, the next governor that comes and says they cannot. So this is how they will be sweeping it, moving this one decide, this one don't decide. What was that? What was that? Is it not the same assembly that will meet? They will meet and say they cannot, so they hand over their states to the federal. When another governor comes, he speaks to the assembly. They do another law and say they want the state. What is this? Why are we moving forward and backward? They'll cause us. Make what is existing work. Okay? Make what is existing work.